What's up, guys? It's a little back with another video, and today is finally the day that I can show you guys the NBA 2K24 MyPlayer builder, and I'm gonna be giving you guys a full, complete, advanced breakdown of this thing because it is complicated. I'm so confident in my understanding of the builder that I think that you guys will be able to know what build you're gonna make possibly by the end of this video, but if not, I'm gonna be dropping build videos over the next couple days, so if you watch those, I think you're gonna be able to have your build or a really good knowledge of what you're gonna make before the game even comes out. I'm gonna be breaking down and going over the all-new MyPlayer builder features, including the NBA player templates, the tiered badge system, new build names, and more. Also, I'll be telling y'all the best heights for builds, whether you want to be a guard or a center. I got you in this video, and I'm giving you guys tips so you can create the best build come launch. I will also be testing to see if you can create a 6'9" demigod in the builder, just like 2K23. You know, we had a bunch of 6'9s running around, so we gotta see if it's possible. Are they still as good as they were in 2K23? We're gonna find out in this video. Watch the whole video through, don't miss anything, because everything that I mentioned in this video is very important. 92% of my viewers are not subscribed, so if you're one of those people, make sure to click the red subscribe button, sub up for more, and turn on notifications so you guys don't miss any more of my videos, because I'm gonna be dropping a lot of them in these next few days. And if this video reaches 2,000 likes, I will daily upload for at least the next 2 weeks. But let's stop all the talking and let's get into this builder. When you guys first get on the game and go into the MyPlayer builder and go to create your build, the first thing you're going to come across is either create your own, or you guys can create a build using an NBA player template. This is the first time this has been in the game, and you guys can choose your position on top, and it shows you a bunch of different NBA players that you can basically base your build off of. Now, you don't have to make this exact build. If you pick a certain template, say you pick, I don't even know, De'Aaron Fox for the point guards, you can tweak the attributes a little bit. So you can change up to, say you want a lower ball handle or you want to raise the 3-point. You could go in and change that. I think this is a great feature for some people that, you know, don't really want to search up build videos, don't want to really put in the hours and figure out how to make a build, because it's very easy to make a bad build. This is a W feature, however, for people like me and probably people like you guys watching the video. It's not something we're really going to want to use, because I mean, man, I could cook up way better builds than just picking like a Scoot Henderson template and working with that. So for sure, you guys are going to want to pick create your own. Do not click the NBA player templates unless that's something you're interested in. So once you guys pick to create your custom template, you know what I'm saying, we're not picking an NBA player template. The first thing it's going to ask you is your position. Now, the positions are not like they were last year. The heights are a little bit different. Last year, you could make a 6'9" point guard. This year, point guard goes from 5'7" up to 6'8". So there are no more 6'9" point guards in the game. If you guys want to pick shooting guard, you can go from 6 foot on the dot up to 6'9". If you want to pick small forward, you can go from 6'3" up to 6'11". Power forward allows you to go from 6'6" to 7 foot. And centers can be 6'7" up to 7'3". There was some speculation, you know, would we be able to get 7'4" builds or even 7'5" since Wemby is now in the NBA? But no, the max height is still 7'3". Let's talk about the height of your build a little bit more, because there's actually a lot that goes into it. Like, height matters a lot this year. You guys will see as I scroll through these heights, every single attribute is affected by your height this year. So you can't mess around when you're picking your height. You know, if you want a certain 3-pointer, if you want a certain, you know, steal or whatever, you got to look at what height you're picking. The thing that matters the second most on this screen is your wingspan. This affects most attributes, not all, but yeah, you definitely want to take a look at the attributes when you're changing your wingspan. Weight matters the least. It'll move some things like speed and excel, of course, some of the physicals, and a few of the attributes. We're going to talk about the new tiered badge system in a little bit, but basically something else you guys got to know about height is that the height that you pick changes what badges are in what tier. So you guys see on the right screen over there, we have the possible badges, which again, I'll talk more about soon. But basically, you want your favorite badges to be in C tier. It'll make more sense in a little bit, but just know when you're picking your height, those badges are changing around in the tiers on the right side of your screen. So that's something else that you guys probably want to focus in on. This builder is very overwhelming, bro. Like, if you hop on the game and you didn't watch this video, you didn't watch any of my other build videos, you're going to be so confused. I'm really trying to break it down for y'all. If you got to watch this video back in a few more days, then do it, because I'm really like breaking this down to the fullest. Also, just so you guys know, when you change around your weight and your wingspan, it does not move around. Those badges in the tiers on the right, they stay put. So height is the main thing that you want to look at when you're looking at those badges. Something else that I want to say is that your position does not change your attributes. Like, I was sitting next to someone at community day when I was playing the game early, and someone was like, oh, you want to pick shooting guard because that actually gives you more strength. That's not true. Let's say you have a point guard that's 6'5" and a shooting guard that's 6'5", they have the same exact physicals, they're gonna have the same exact attributes. So position really doesn't matter. The only thing position matters for is basically like my career. Like if you want to run the 1 in my career, which is probably easy to get badges, then you should probably pick point guard. Or also if you're gonna plan on playing like pro am or rec and you want to play the 2 or the 3, then maybe pick shooting guard or small forward. That's really all the position is for. But even if you do pick a wrong position, I mean, you can easily just change that in game. Like you could just tell someone like, yo, I'm a guard ball, even though it has me at the 4. The last thing that there is to talk about on this screen is the new possible badges over there on the right side. We've already talked about this, but basically when you're picking your height, your weight, your wingspan, it shows you what badges you can get and what level you can get them on. And then some of the badges will be completely grayed out. That means you can't get them. Something that you guys need to know is that badge points are not in NBA 2K24. Basically, when you make your build, whatever badges are lit up on the right side of the screen, you're gonna get those on bronze immediately. Everyone has bronze badges. How it works this year is you get badges depending on how you play. So let's say that your build can get Hall of Fame limitless range. If you're shooting a bunch of threes and a bunch of limitless range shots, you know what I'm saying, this badge keeps going off, then you will quickly get limitless range Hall of Fame. Let's say you have it on Hall of Fame and you stop shooting limitless range shots for a few games, that badge will slowly drop, but it cannot go below bronze. So you can lose badges, but they'll just never drop below bronze. Let's talk about this tiered badge system on the right side of the screen, because that's a little bit confusing. If you guys haven't noticed, the badges are not sorted into finishing, playmaking, shooting, defense, /rebound, whatever. Not broken up by that anymore. So they just kind of have like a bunch of different badges mixed up into these tiers. The S tier badges are the hardest to earn and also the easiest to lose. So limitless range, for example, that's a badge that I saw in S tier on a lot of different builds. That badge is going to be hard to upgrade. It's going to be hard to get to Hall of Fame, and it's also going to be very easy to lose. So if you stop shooting a lot of limitless range threes, this badge is going to plummet pretty fast. And as you guys could probably guess, it's a kind of a progression from A to B all the way down to C tier, where C tier, those badges are going to be the easiest to earn and also the hardest to lose. So if you get a C tier badge on Hall of Fame, I mean, it's probably going to be staying on Hall of Fame unless you just stop using that badge completely for like, I don't know, a full day. So I'm going to say it one more time, badge points are completely gone. You guys might be confused when you're making your build, so just remember this, because I know I was at first. I was like, bro, I'm upgrading finishing or I'm upgrading shooting, but where are my badge points? Like, how do I know how many points I have to upgrade these badges? There are none. You get badges depending on how you play in game this year. Something that I will say that I noticed in this builder is like you can get a lot of the same builds, like when it comes to attributes as 2K23. They're a little bit weaker, but they're kind of similar. The thing that's different though is the badges. Like a lot of the badge caps are higher. Badges are harder to unlock in the NBA 2K24 builder. Like look at some of these requirements just for some bronze badges. Like you could tell they raised from 2K23, so it's just harder to get badges. And also there are some new additions to the attribute gate that you need in order to unlock these badges. In previous 2Ks, it would just be like, okay, you need this 3-point shot and then you can get limitless range, or you need this and you can get that. This year, there are some badges that require multiple attributes. For example, if you want the posterizer badge, you need your driving dunk to be a certain level and also your vertical. If we take a look at a badge like chase down artist, you need your block and your speed and your vertical. So a lot of these badges in the past used to just be, okay, you need your driving dunk at this certain level and you could get this badge. No, now there's like multiple attributes you guys will need. And there's even some badges like aerial wizard that require you to have vertical and either driving layup or driving dunk or standing dunk. So with some of these badges, they give you the option to have certain attributes at a certain level. You could pick, they give you that or option. As I just said, a lot of these badges caps are really high, so they're going to be harder to unlock. You're not going to be able to get like every badge in the game. For example, to get a badge like posterize on Hall of Fame, you need a 99 driving dunk, which is first off going to be very tough to do if you want, a balanced build this year. And then not only that, but you also need an 85 vertical. To get limitless range on Hall of Fame, you need a 99 3-point shot. So like, bro, a lot of people are not going to have that unless you're literally a pure sharp. I don't see you having that. Badge like killer combos, which is pretty bad last year, but I think they probably reworked it. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, but I think it'll probably be a little bit better this year. Maybe that's just me being a little optimistic, but you need a 98 ball handle to get that on Hall of Fame. A badge like speed booster, which is going to be a very good playmaking badge this year. I think it's kind of replacing quick first step from years past, and you guys know quick first step, that was like a needed badge. You guys are going to want to put on speed booster. But to get that Hall of Fame, you need a 95 ball handle and a 91 speed of ball. So there's no more just putting your build at a 75 speed of ball. This year, to get speed booster upgraded, you need your speed of ball high, and then you also need to be on a build with a very high speed or acceleration. Like, bro, this speed booster badge is no joke, and the requirements, and you can see, bro, there's a lot of high requirements. The unpluckable badge requires you to have a 98 ball ball handle. So you guys get the gist, bro. A lot of these badges require you to have very high attributes. I just covered a few of the badges, but Zach Timmerman, one of 2K's gameplay developers, actually just tweeted out requirements for every single badge in the game. So I'm gonna pop up the screenshots on the screen as I talk over some of the most important badges. Starting with the playmaking badges, something to note, bailout, to get this on bronze this year, you needed an 87 pass accuracy, which is just crazy. I'm not saying it's crazy in a bad way, because bailout was one of the most broken badges. Like, people were passing out of the craziest shots. Now that you need an 87 pass accuracy, I feel like barely anybody's gonna have it. Also, you need to be a max height of 6'10". The next badge is for my dribblers out there. We have ankle breaker, which you need to have a 62 ball handle to get this on bronze. I feel like most of y'all will have at least an 85, which will get you gold. 93 ball handles for Hall of Fame. So if you're like a really short guard, you might be able to get that. But I feel like most builds will get gold out of 85 ball handle, and the max height for this is 6'9". Now I'm calling it now. This badge is going to be pretty OP. A lot of people are going to be running it, and that is the blow by badge. To get bronze, you need a 67 ball handle and a 62 speed of ball and a 61 excel. So this is one of those badges that requires 3 different attributes, which just is a lot, bro. I feel like some people aren't going to have this. Most dribblers should, though, because it's, you know, pretty important dribbling attributes, and I think you should try to get it on gold with a 92 ball handle, 83 speed of ball, and a 83 excel. If you're going to be a taller build, you'll probably only have it on silver, though. And the last badge that I'm going to talk in this section is going to be physical handles. This is a new badge that I think will once again be pretty good, just like blow by. To get this on bronze, you need a 60 ball handle and you need a 60 strength. Strength is going to be very important in your builds this year. A lot of people underrate it in years past. This year, it's looking very vital, especially for badges. I think physical handles is a badge that'll help you like shed off defenders when you're dribbling. I'm not going to say it's like clamp breaker from last year, but it sounds like it might be like it a little bit. Ball handle is the easy part of this badge, because for Hall of Fame, you only need an 80 ball handle, but with the strength, you need an 83 strength for Hall of Fame. So a lot of builds, especially if you're a guard build, you probably won't have the highest strength. On to the next section, and we have the shooting badges. There's only a few in this section that I really want to go over. Starting off with Agent 3, which is one of the most important badges from 2K23. I expect it to be very important again in 24. To get it on bronze, though, you need a 76 3-point shot. So this is another one of those badges that has a very high requirement even to get this on bronze. To get it on silver, you need an 86 3, and to get it on gold, you need a 94. Hall of Fame is 98, and I don't really expect many builds to have that unless you're like a 6'1" with no D. And this badge has a max height of 6'11". The last badge I want to talk about when it comes to the shooting, I mentioned it before, this is going to be limitless range. To get it on bronze, you need an 85 3-point shot. That is very important. I need y'all to remember this when you're making your build. To get limitless range on bronze, you need an 85 3. That is crazy. I don't think it's ever been that high for limitless range on bronze. To get it silver, you need a 92 3. To get it gold is 96, and of course Hall of Fame is 99. With a lot of the ISO builds that I like to make, I feel like it's even going to be hard to get it on silver, but definitely try to get an 85 3 to get that on bronze. On to the next section, we have the finishing badges, which I think finishing is going to be very OP this year. The first badge I want to talk about is Fearless Finisher. This is another one of those badges that requires you to have strength and then also either close shot or driving layup, but strength is the key thing here. Because I feel like Fearless Finisher, that's going to be a solid badge, and I feel like a lot of players, especially casuals, are not going to upgrade their strength, and they're just going to be missing out on key badges like this one. The next badge is Two-Step. I think it's going to be a very good badge, and you need a 60 driving layup or a 63 driving dunk to get this badge on bronze. To get on a Hall of Fame, you need an 83 driving layup or a 86 driving dunk. So I feel like actually a lot of people will have this on Hall of Fame or at least gold. And then one of the most vital badges in the game, Bulldozer. You need strength for this badge. That's literally all it is. To get it bronze, you need a 74 strength. To get a Hall of Fame, you need a 96. And the minimum height for this badge is 6'5". So that's very important. Know that when you're making your build. Also, when we were playing at Community Day, they had different requirements for badges. Like, they went in and changed them based on what we said at Community Day. This was a badge they actually lowered the strength requirement on. I think it was 76 strength for bronze when we were at Community Day, but now it's 74. So like some of the stuff you might see in the footage might look a little bit different than the stuff that is on these screenshots right here, but these are the real requirements. Now we have the defense and rebounding badges, and there are a lot of badges that I want to talk about in here because I feel like it's going to be a huge defensive year, and there's a lot of changes to the badges compared to 23. For brick wall, so if you are a center out there, listen up, it's all about strength. To get bronze brick wall, you need a 72 strength, but let's be honest, if you're going to be a center, why would you only go for bronze brick wall? You probably want to go for like gold, which would be a 90 strength. Like, I'm telling you, bro, you really got to upgrade your strength. Hall of Fame brick wall is a 99 strength. Something that I definitely took note of when I was in the builder is this anchor badge. You need to be a minimum height of 6'7" this year. So for locks thinking about going 6'6", I will be dropping a lockdown build video in a few days, but I don't know, bro. I think the meta lock height might be 6'7" just because of this alone. The next badge is Chase and Artist. you need a 68 block and a 50 speed and a 60 vertical to get this on bronze, and you need a minimum height of 6'3". The next badge is clamps, and this is a badge that requires strength this year. To get it on bronze, you need a perimeter defense of a 75 and a strength of 45, so that's doable. But just remember, when you're trying to get clamps or some of these badges, bro, strength is very important. Fast feet is a badge that I think will be very good. You need a 72 perimeter defense and a 70 acceleration for bronze, and you could have a max height of 6'9". To get glove on bronze, you need a 72 steal. Silver is 85, gold is 91, and Hall of Fame is 99. 94 feet is a badge that I think is going to be very crucial, especially for lockdowns that want to press full court. This is a badge that helps you harass the defender full court. You need a 76 perimeter defense and an 87 stamina for bronze. You could have a max height of 6'8". So for this badge, you need stamina. There's a couple others, I think, like handles for days, you need stamina as well. Like, they're really starting to lump in physicals with a lot of these badges, so that's very interesting about the 2K24 builder. And for my centers out there, rebound chaser, bro. To get this on bronze, you need a 60 rebound, either offensive or defensive works. Hall of Fame is going to be 99 of either of them, and then to get gold, which most centers will probably have, is 92 offensive or 92 defensive. Now it's time to answer the question that a lot of you guys have been asking me on Twitter, and I'm sure some of you guys are thinking of it right now. Can you make 6'9" demigods in NBA 2K24? So it was time. I pulled up my old 2K23 him build. I'm sure you guys, you might have seen that. It got over 1 million views. It was one of the most popular 6'9" builds on NBA 2K23. So I pulled up that video and I was like, yo, can I recreate that build? And as I'm filling out these attributes, you guys can see once I get to the defense, it's maxed out. I didn't even get to the physicals yet, and I didn't even get to the rebounding. So unfortunately, I mean, I don't know if that's unfortunate. I guess it's fortunately, like, it's probably a good thing. No, you cannot make the 6'9" demigods from 2K23. Also, you can't do it as a point guard, so I had to put my build as a shooting guard. You might have seen that earlier. But no, you cannot do it. I'll pop up the 2K23 version side by side so you guys can compare the two builds. You guys can see the 2K23 version is much better. And like I said before, 2K24 badges are harder to get. So although my build is worse than 24, it also wouldn't have had the same badges because the badge caps are higher. So builds overall got nerfed in NBA 2K24, which I personally think is a good thing. Like, bro, there was too many demigods running around the park in 2K23. Too many people could do everything, and personally, I don't like that. I like the days where you're good at like one or two things, and then let's say that I'm not that good at defense, but hey man, like, I got stick, I'm a fight, like, I can hold my own at defense. Like, that's where the skill gap kind of is, when you're kind of mid at something, but if you're a really good 2K player, you can make that mid stat turn into a great stat. But I didn't stop there with this 6'9" him build, because I wanted to see, okay, are 6'9" builds viable in the NBA 2K24 builder? Because maybe not my exact copy from 23 works, but maybe there's something else that I could do. So immediately I lowered the driving dunk down to an 80, which back in 2K23, that was what I like to put a lot of my builds at, because you get quick drops at an 80, which I'm not sure if that's in the game, by the way. Mike Lang said RIP, but I saw something that kind of looked like quick drops might have been the game. I don't know. I was talking to a 2K guy at Community Day. He said that they aren't, so we'll have to see. But once I confirm the build, you guys are now seeing for the first time, at least on my channel, the new shades of screen, the new build name screen, and this is what it looks like. We got shades of OG Anunoby, Doug Christie, Mike Kyle Bridges, and I have built an inside out threat. So taking a look at this build once again, I mean, man, you guys can let me know what you think, but I think 6'9's like, there's a chance they could be viable. Something else I want to point out, I put my stamina at 99. I used to put it at 95, but this year the gym rat badge is confirmed not in 2K24. So you guys remember the gym rat badge give you +4 to all your physicals, so I would always put my physicals no higher than a 95 because we're gonna get that +4, which bumps it up to a 99. But you guys can see the 3-point is much lower on 6'9's this year, and also the ball handle, I only had an 80. So the question is, will I be able to dribble with an 80 ball handle on 2K24? I'm not sure, because that Community Day we were not able to go around and switch out our SIGs and test the different SIGs, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure. That's a question that will have to be answered on the game when we actually get on it. 6'9 builds were definitely nerfed, there's no question about it, but there's a chance that they will be usable, but again, they're nerfed. Now it's time to explore one of what could be the most broken builds in NBA 2K24. That is going to be the 7'3" center. You guys see, I think I went lower on the weight, but then max wingspan. And guys, I mean, I saw some 2K devs talking on Twitter saying that post scoring, the inside game, that type of stuff's going to be OP, and I played the game, and yeah, drop steps inside scoring. You guys saw, you know, that bulldozer badge is going to be insane. There's so many insane finishing badges that I do think that post scorers, unfortunately, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but I think post scorers are going to be very good. If you guys are a finishing type of build, if you're a slasher, an interior finisher, whatever, this is probably going to be the 2K for you. I think that finishing and post scoring is going to be probably the most overpowered or best thing that you can, you know, upgrade on your build this year. I mean, personally, I won't be doing that because I'm a guard. Why would I be, you know, upgrading post scoring? But I'm talking about you insides, you bigs, you slashers, whatever. This is what I decided to go with. What is that? A 98 close shot, solid all around build, and it has a 73 point. Bro, the only thing that it's pretty bad at is obviously speed, but then also dribbling. Like, it's not gonna be able to dribble. If you're good enough to shoot with a 73 point, this build is gonna be scary. We got shades of Nurkic, Divock, and Kessler, and we have built a two-way interior scorer. Now let's talk about build names, because there's a ton of new unique build names in 2K24, and a lot of these build names are very descriptive. And for example, if you're going up against somebody, you're gonna know what they're good at based on their build name. And so I don't have the screenshots for all these build names, but based on what I saw at Community Day, you know, some of these are gonna be my build, some of these are gonna be Joe Noses, some of these are gonna be Double H's. These are just some of the best, most unique build names that I saw or heard of. I'm just gonna run through these and you guys can comment which one is your favorite. We have the playmaking perimeter creator. We also have the point of attack stopper. We have the playmaking 3-level threat. This one's pretty unique. We have the high flyer, so I guess that's kind of like a slashing one. We have the 3-level threat. We have the interior scorer. We have the defensive menace. We have the inside the arc finisher, the hybrid defender, the two-way floor spacing slasher. We have the glass cleaning interior threat, and we have the two-way interior threat. I think this is a huge W for 2K, so shout out to them for doing this, because in 2K23, and I feel like even in 2K22, you'd go up against people that would have weird names like two-way inside out score. Like, everyone had that name and you really never knew what the other team could do based on their build names. And I also feel like most builds could just do everything, so I mean, it didn't really matter. But now the builder's more strict, it's more limited. These build names are going to be very helpful. Now that we got that overpowered toxic build out of the way, it is time to talk about my meta build predictions. I'm talking heights and just what, you know, I'm kind of thinking when it comes to certain build types, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably been waiting for this part of the video. Let's start off with the guard meta, specifically the small guard meta. I'm talking about if you're trying to play threes and you're trying to move fast, shoot a lot of threes, I'm talking about those type of builds. And I'm also talking about twos. If you want to make a build that, you know, goes crazy in the twos and you're a small guard, I'm talking about that too. I think the meta for small guards is going to be 6'1" up to 6'4". If you just plan on playing threes, you know, I'm talking about those stage builds, yeah, it'll probably be 6'1". There are even some years where I've seen builds go down to like 5'11", 5'9", just because they want to be really fast. But in general, if you're trying to make a small guard build that can play on every court and also kind of hold their own on defense, you're probably going to be in the range of 6'1" to 6'4". That's just from what I've seen. And also, if you go above 6'4" to 6'5", you're entering a range where you're going to get different dribble moves, because as you guys know, or maybe you don't, once you're 6'5" and up, you unlock different dribble moves. Those are like the tall build dribble moves, but 6'4" and under, those are like the short build dribble moves. So you definitely want those short build dribble moves on the small guards. Also, today at 2 p.m. Eastern, so if you're watching this, you know, hours or even days after I posted it, I have posted my best guard build video on YouTube, where I go completely in depth on these builds. Now let's talk about the ISO build meta, possibly my favorite builds in the entire game. I'm talking about those builds that can dribble, they can also shoot decently good, and they are clamp gods, insane on defense. I think the meta for these builds is going to be between 6'5" and 6'9". You could even tighten that window and go 6'6" to 6'8". I think these builds are going to be pretty good, considering I think that if you're good enough at the game, you'll be able to shoot with a decently low 3-point shot this year. I know the build is a lot more limited, but if you upgrade your ball handling and you upgrade your defense, I think, you know, you can get away with shooting with a low 3-point, say like around a 70. I will be dropping my video on this Wednesday at 2 p.m. That is the day before the game comes out. And you might be thinking, oh, I thought the game came out Friday, so how's that a day before? Well, New Zealand gets the game on Thursday, so I'll be playing it on Thursday. Now let's talk about the lock meta. I think that lockdowns are going to be between 6'6" and 6'8". I personally would probably go 6'7" and up, because this year you need to be 6'7" if you want to get anchor, which is a crucial badge for defense. Defense is looking very good this year. Defenders are looking overpowered, and so I'm giving you guys this tip now. now, even if you're not trying to be a lockdown, when you're creating your build, I would really recommend getting some defense in it, and also strength. Strength is looking very overpowered, and for certain badges like Bulldozer, you need strength high. I'll be talking about lockdowns Tuesday at 2 p.m. so that is 2 days before the game officially comes out. I'll be dropping my lockdown build in that video. Now let's talk about the shooting center meta. If you guys are a shooting center, I got you. I think that the heights for this type of build will be between 6'8" and 7 foot. Now the reason that this window is so big is because a lot of people, like the consensus at community day amongst, you know, those comp centers that were there, were saying 6'9" shooting center builds are gonna be the wave. However, when I was labbing, bro, and I showed you that 7'3" earlier, I think that there might be some taller shooting centers. Like, I think you can get away with being 7 foot on a shooting center this year. My only concern with this is the speed, because the attributes, the badges, I think they're there. Like, I think that these can be very glitchy builds. I'm talking about 7 foot centers, because if you're good enough, I think you can get away with shooting on a 7 foot build, and then obviously you're going to be insane at rebounding. So my only concern is speed with these builds. I'll be talking about center builds Sunday at noon. I'll be uploading my center build video, so don't miss it. And then of course, talking about inside centers, I think that the meta heights will be between 6'10" and 7'1". Look, bro, I can't really tell y'all what I think will be the meta, whether it's a popper year or it's an inside year. I was just pretty limited at community day. Like, I wasn't out there playing park. I wasn't able to do too much. But what I will say is I think that both are valid. Like, if you want to be a shooting center, you can do that and be good at a high level. If you want to be an inside, you can do that and be good at a high level. I think insides are back. I feel like we've had some years now where shooting centers are very popular. I think inside centers and that interior, you know, finishing game, post scoring, all that, I think it's going to be very good in 2K24. Once again, Sunday at noon for my best center build video. All right, guys, so right here, I'm putting you guys onto some information that is probably not going to be in a lot of other YouTubers' videos. This is information that you cannot gain from the builder, and I'm talking about animation requirements. Like, for certain contact dunks, what driving dunk you need, or for certain dribble moves, what ball handle do you need. This is vital information that you need when creating your build. Luckily for you guys, when I was at community day, I was asking around, and they actually gave me a spreadsheet of all of the different animation requirements. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to put the complete spreadsheet in the video, so I'll just go over a couple of them. Starting off with the dunks. For the lowest contact dunk in the game, this goes for all builds. Like, some of these are going to be for specific heights. This goes for all builds, and no matter your height, you need an 87 driving dunk and a 75 vertical. To get the second best contact dunk, you'll need an 89 driving dunk and a 78 vertical. To get the third best driving dunk, you need a 94 driving dunk and an 82 vertical. And to get the best driving dunk for all builds, you need a 96 driving dunk with an 86 vertical. So you guys can see these numbers are no joke. Like, to get the best badges, to get the best animations, you're really gonna have to sacrifice a lot when making your build. There are a few more contact dunks like this one for under 6'5" builds. So for the short guards out there, you need an 86 driving dunk and an 85 vertical. So your player's gonna have to jump mad high if you wanted to get contact dunks on a small guard. And to get the best one for under 6'5" builds, you need a 93 driving dunk with an 85 vertical. Now I got contact dunks for you tall players. If you're planning on making a build over 6'10", these ones are for you. To get the lowest one, you need an 80 standing dunk, so not a driving dunk. You need an 80 standing dunk with a 60 vertical. And then to get the best one, you need a 90 standing dunk and a 75 vertical. Once again, that is for over 6'10" builds. But we're not only talking about contact dunks. There's a few other dunk packages in the game that are very good. Russell Westbrook is a dunk package that a lot of people loved in 2K23, and in order to get this, you need a 93 driving dunk with a 65 vertical. So the vertical doesn't have to be too high, but you do need a 93 driving dunk, which is decently high. And also, you have to be under 6'10" to get this dunk package. To get the Michael Jordan dunk package, you need a 94 driving dunk with a 78 vertical. So the vertical is much higher on the Jordan dunk package than the Westbrook one. Again, you have to be under 6'10" to get this. Now, I don't know if any other creator is going to talk about this in their video. Something that me and Joe Knows found when we were looking at these spreadsheets and creating our builds is we found on the spreadsheet listed 1 foot 2 hands quick drops. Now, when I saw this, I talked to Wolf, who is the newest 2K gameplay developer. He was in my little room when I was playing the game, so I called him over. I was like, bro, what is this? Is quick drops still in the game? Because it was on the animation sheet, and basically he said, no, they're not. They shouldn't be. This is wrong. But he honestly looked confused, so I feel like there's a chance that quick drops are still in the game. Of course, Mike Wang said on Twitter, RIP quick drops, and whatever that means, everyone's assuming that they're not in the game. But they were listed on the sheet. In order to get them, you need an 85 driving dunk and a 65 vertical. So I'm not saying that they're in the game, because there seemed to be a little bit of confusion there, but they might be in the game. Let's talk about pass styles real quick because this actually matters. Like last year, pass styles were very important. You needed like a 75 pass accuracy on most builds, or else you're going to be passing pretty slow. For the Jokic pass style, you need an 80 pass accuracy. For Steph Curry and Trae Young pass styles, you need an 80 pass accuracy as well. For LaMelo Ball and Magic Johnson pass styles, you need an 85 pass accuracy. For LeBron James's pass style, you need an 86 pass accuracy. And for what is supposedly the best one in the game, or one of the developers said that it was their favorite one, Tyrese Halliburton's pass style, you need an 89 pass accuracy. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the cutoffs, some of the requirements for dribble moves, because I know that this is going to be something that matters a lot when I'm creating my builds. Let's start with dribble styles, because last year all you needed was what, a 75, I think it was speed of ball to get the Michael Jordan dribble style, which everybody used. It was the best one by far. This year for dribble styles, it's all about ball handle, not speed of ball. And for John Stockton's dribble style, you need a 75 ball handle. Same with Magic Johnson. And for John Stockton, you have to be under 6'5", Magic under 6'10". Steve Nash dribble style, you need an 83 ball handle, and you got to be under 6'5". The one that you guys are probably wanting to know the most about, the Michael Jordan dribble style this year requires an 89 ball handle, and you can get this by being under 6'10". We're gonna have to see how good the MJ dribble style is, because if it's the same as last year and it's the best one, then like you really might have to consider going up to an 89 ball handle. Obviously small guards are gonna have that, but if you're like a middle, like, you know what I'm saying, like a ISO build, like a little 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", maybe you weren't planning on going that high on ball handle, but maybe now you should consider it. For the Trae Young dribble style, you need a 92 ball handle, you got to be under 6'5". Let's talk about some of the best signature size ups in the game. For the De'Aaron Fox 6 size up, you only need an 80 ball handle, and you got to be under 6'10". LaMelo Ball 6 size up, you only need an 85 ball handle, and once again under 6'10". For Kobe Bryant 6 size up, you need an 88 ball handle, and of course you got to be under 6'10". For the Steph Curry 6 size up, which, you know, I'm sure a lot of people, especially casuals, probably use that because they just see Curry, they're like, oh my god, Curry, let me use his dribble moves. For this one, you need a 92 ball handle, you got to be under 6'5". For the Trae Young 6 size up, you need a 92 ball handle, and you could be under 6'10". So that one kind of surprised me, because Trae Young usually for small guards, but on the sheet it said you got to be under 6'10". And the one that I know a lot of you guys, especially dribble heads out there, were waiting for, Steve Francis, you need a 95 ball handle, and you got to be under 6'5". On the spreadsheet there was a new thing listed. It said escape moves. Now I guess it's just size up escapes like we had last year, but it looked a little bit different. So maybe in the game it won't have the same exact name. It was just labeled as escape moves. Now for the Kevin Durant escape, you only need a 75 ball handle, and you get this on any build. There's literally no height requirement. I thought KD had a good escape. John Wall, you need a 77 ball handle, and you got to be under 6'5". John Wall's escape, that was one of my favorites in the entire game, so I'm kind of shocked that this one along with KD has that low of a requirement. And then Trae Young's only requires you to have an 80 ball handle, and you got to be under 6'5". So I'm starting to think maybe, I don't know what I'm reading, maybe escape moves isn't what I think it is, but it should be. Like, this should be literally the escape moves. But why is Trae Young down at only an 80 ball handle to get his escape? For the Kobe escape, you need an 88 ball handle, you got to be under 6'10". And for the Steph Curry escape, which should be the Curry slide, you need a 92 ball handle, and you got to be under 6'5". There's also a section on the spreadsheet that I was looking at with a new kind of drill move that's called aggressive breakdown combos. Now what I assume this is when you're holding the sprint button and you flick up on the stick. Last year the Russell Westbrook one was very overpowered. I'm not sure if this is what it is, but it has Westbrook down for only a 70 ball handle, and you got to be under 6'10" for aggressive breakdown combos. I'm not going to go over all the layup package requirements, but basically you need mid to high 80s for all of the different layup packages. Of course, that is for your driving layup rating. Make sure you're subbed up and turn on notifications, because tomorrow I'm dropping a special video with some of your favorite 2K content creators of all time. This video has Cheeseaholic, it has Duke Dennis, it has I'm Davis, Grinding, Double H, your boy Tonio, and of course myself, and that video is dropping tomorrow at noon. Sub up, and if you enjoyed this video, you'd probably enjoy this one on your screen right here, so go ahead, click this one, watch it. It's fire, trust me.